Park bado ni yako first of all. Alafu na tumeacha kuita pav kwa sababu apparently
nimeokoka.
The perverse.
Nimeokoka man. I found Jesus behind the curtain. He was lost.
What do you mean Jesus behind?
See you,
when was this?
See, Jesus was lost. I found him hiding behind the curtain. So they keep telling me, have you found Jesus? Alikuwa amejisuda hapo hivyo. Anasikia Netflix with no picture. Kama radio.
Unajua kuna ile time ilikuwa tunaambiwa when you're praying. Lazima macho zako zifungue.
I remember that.
So that the Holy Spirit can come down. Unajua
usithubutu kufungua macho.
Wewe.
Ours was a worst threat. I think it was ukifungua macho during prayer you die or some shit.
Kwenda.
It was your prayers.
Macho unafunga tight. You shut your. So one day I decided to peep and see this nigga we are dressing. I didn't see a nigga here. And I didn't die either. So we are praying to Jesus. He's supposed to be there. That's why we are closing our eyes.
No, walikuwa tunaomba unafunga macho juu Holy Spirit anakam.
So that you don't. Yeah, me I wanted to.
It was not at God that yako hapo.
See, God in the Holy Spirit, bro. You don't understand Christianity, do you?
I don't understand the Trinity. I don't understand the Trinity.
You don't understand. The Trinity is the basis of Christianity. One is the other.
Anyway, nakumbuka kuna wakati sisi walikuwa tunaambiwa fungeni macho na ukijaribu kufungua mpaka unajua the Sunday school teacher ana make sure mmefunga macho ndo muombe.
Wait, she goes around smacking people whose eyes
are open. It doesn't have to be a she actually. Yeah.
They go around.
It doesn't have to be a she, but it was a she. You know, so ako pale tu na we are praying for food. You know. Si ati ni kitu.
Food is usually like a 5-second prayer.
Funga close your eyes so that you can pray. The Holy Spirit will not come down.
But the food is already here. What do you need that guy for?
Acceptance and blessings.
Musihare kwa shule.
I remember I used to shut my eyes. Zinatetemeka tu hivi. Najaribu kufungua lakini niko, you know, I may turn blind, you know.
Even me,
I might see this Holy Spirit then brrr.
I had that fear. I thought something terrible would happen.
You guys are really religious. You know?
Something horrible would happen if you open your eyes during prayer.
Yeah, for real, man. Like,
I don't know where that. I don't know where that notion came from.
When you're praying, your eyes are tight.
Not when I'm praying, because it's been a minute. Me prayer yangu I think inakuwa daily. Like naweza kaa hapa nikue, I really need this. You know, so I manifest to that. So I feel that's my prayer, and I'm not praying to anyone. I'm just praying to, you know, yani ile I just want the energy I need. I want it to spread like this. So whoever feels my energy and can relate to it, I join.
Reciprocates.
Yeah. But your time, hata sahi, when I'm alone, sina hizo shit, because I don't have prayers in that method. But nikiwa na nyanyangu, grandma.
The whole essence, the spirit.
I don't know where it comes from.
It comes, dude. You close your eyes like.
I'm like, hey, you have to close your eyes so that these prayers can reach. You know, like sometimes you can just mess with venye mtu yuko, unajua. But anyway, welcome to the 420 show.
Welcome to the land of Kenya.
Leo ni Tuesday. Na leo ni keep it or kill it.
Keep it or kill it. There's too much bullshit in our lives.
Now, keep it or kill it.
Before we even keep it or kill it, let me show you guys something that we must. Our MPs are working overtime, bro. That's what I was sure. Upkeep for children born out of wedlock to be mandatory. We don't want any more bastards in the country, it turns out.
Okay.
The highlights. Persons marrying spouse with child to assume parental responsibility. It's a must now. The proposed law allows joinder of children as parties to court case. 2 or more persons may have and exercise concurrent parental responsibility over the same child. Thing is complex as shit. The government has drawn a new set of laws spelling out a raft of hefty fines for child neglect and abuse, especially in the social and electronics media spaces. The Children's Bill 2021 seeks to repeal the Children Act 2001 to provide for penalties for denying a child the right to life, survival, well-being, and development. The bill, sponsored by Kimunya, gives the state powers to take measures against any abuses of child rights and neglect of parental responsibility. Let me jump to this juicy part. Neither the father nor the mother of a child shall have a superior right or claim against the other in the exercise of such parental responsibility. When a child is born out of wedlock and the parents of the child subsequently get married to each other, the parents shall have parental responsibility for the child on equal basis. The bill provides that they will do this either alone or jointly with spouses. Two or more persons may have and exercise concurrent parental responsibility for the child. That's the sweetest part for me. It is 50-50.
So umeenda kwa kitu yenye unaona umefeel imekutetea.
Sio imenitetea. People, you know, these children who get kids for child support. So you come with 50, I come with 50. That's the biggest one for me.
Say hakuna kuteka.
Sasa hakuna kuteka advantage of yourself.
Hawezi teka Charlie hawezi kukuteka kadem. Inamaanisha both of you will now be culpable, be held culpable for the child's upkeep.
If the child needs 10k, you bring 5k.
Well,
Alafu
5 minutes or 5 your story.
Yeah. So this thing of telling
ni wa baba hiyo story imeisha.
Ati my kid needs to go to a
So easy ni solutions current solutions. These solutions are the future.
No, they are implementing it now.
Very
So
well.
It hasn't passed law.
Hii ni kitu yani tuna solve
Current problems.
Ni current problems. These are not long-term problems. These are short-term problems.
Short-term goals.
Short-term in what way?
Because me feel unaona kama saizi there are a lot of things zimesemwa hapo, a lot.
Too many. Banze there hii article ni
But
ngumu.
sisi tumekimbilia hiyo side ya ati ni equal mwanamume na mwanamke.
That is actually
feel
it's a big problem.
It is a big problem. So saizi sisi tukimbilia hiyo inamaanisha ni divide and conquer. Kwa hivyo inamaanisha in the future kuna wale wenye wanaweza tumia hiyo to their advantage. Now we can have deadbeat baby daddies to their advantage. We are not solving the problem.
Actually it solves deadbeats as well.
It
solves deadbeats and it solves slave queens at once.
Because
Not for future.
the first thing was it was addressing adoption of parental responsibility to the child born out of wedlock, right?
Yes. Mostly I think those are the most unfortunate ones.
I think in the past it used to be implied, but now there's a law
to
say that you have to provide.
You don't be fucking around if you can't take care of children.
Exactly. And if you're not to be with
if you're not
to be the person,
sasa hichi yenye nasema you know I can take care of more than one children if I'm put on 50-50-50, you know.
Yeah, that still.
Yeah, so unaweza amua sahi niko ni 50-50. Wewe unafaa kufanya hii, mimi nafaa. So saizi naenda kudinyana nikijua wewe ni 50-50, si ndio?
Yeah.
So saizi itakuwa ni hunting.
Kama una
hata nikakupatia ball,
kama una hiyo
50, wewe toa 50.
That's actually the crux of it for me. How madam Honeytrap was said you have money, and then they start making noise that my child needs to go to an international school. You come with half that fee.
Hakuna story ya child support.
So tunaenda kubuild wanaume wenyewe wanataka kutake advantage of hiyo. Bro,
but they've been doing it. People are having kids already.
Right now,
I'm saying why this is a current solution to a current situation. It's a short-term solution. Ni juu leo tumesema nini? Leo ni kill it.
Keep it or kill it.
Yeah, keep it or kill it.
What should we keep? We should keep community raising,
which has not been there. It's not. It's no longer there.
What's our topic today, bro?
Keep it or kill it.
Yeah. We should keep community.
But we can't keep it when it's disappeared.
Just what are you saying?
It's Sema, bro. Sema.
What should we keep? Community raising. Now, do we want a solution of future, and a long term? Then let's go back to community raising. Hakuna hii ya ati mkipata mtu hivi na hapana. Wewe just know. Bro, let's go to the reality. If you are not ready, sisi tunataka kuweka ile hii inaekwa, hii inakaa church. The moment umpata ball lazima uzae. And yet both of you are not ready. Bro, let's go back. What are we keeping and what are we killing? Me I'd keep ile if you're not ready, you're not ready.
And I think this law addresses this.
Because if the community, when you say it has never happened, right? Because the community doesn't haijakuwa hivyo for a minute, si ndio?
Yeah.
Then if we are not ready, then tafadhali toa mtoi.
Skia Diesel. First of all,
Skia,
let me make this point. First of all, we are speaking about a society in which right now level expenditure ya wanaume see as much as yenye ilikuwa 5 years ago. So e-bill ikikame up, first of all, as Javan has said, I will concur with him, inaweka madem in a very tight spot. And actually inawapatia
it forces responsibility.
It forces them to a level of responsibility.
Same as men also,
because
by the way.
exactly.
Yes.
Because right now, you know, it is within the law for you to provide for your child. Unaelewa? But tumetoa hii story
right now.
Tumetoa hii story ya
It was implied.
Skia,
this is an agenda of equality you are pushing.
It's an agenda of equality, but it's also an agenda of responsibility.
It's responsibility.
Because if you have to take care of that child, kama mama anajua baba yao mtoto, inamaanisha tume-eliminate story ya madeadbeat. Unanipata? Ni rahisi sana sahi kwa dem kusema mimi na provide kwangu, side yangu nafanya kenye nafaa kufanya. Wewe kama mwanaume haujakuwa ukifanya. So now it's a case for women just as it's a case for men. For me, it's an equality.
We are going back to a war.
We're going back to equality.
Let's go back. No, there can never be equality, bro.
Yes,
there can never be equality.
Me, I'm reading responsibility.
No, your responsibility, then let's start from which you utakuja uniambie saizi Jav. Let's assume you're a girl, I'm a boy. Sini watoi. Or sini mavijana tu. Kuna kesi fulani ya twins. 16 year old.
Who are raped by some clown.
Not raped, were
impregnated by some.
By a boyfriend who's also 16 years old.
Waliwachapa kombe.
They've gone through shit. Sijui amekuwa kimove.
I've not been following that story by the way. Hebu niambie.
Saizi mpaka kuna mahali walienda paka kwa anko yao waka complain sexual harassment ndio iliwatoa huko. Saizi wako in some house yenye hata ina windows na mlango. You get me? Now we want to talk about responsibility. Imagine the boy can't do shit.
Yeah, the boy can't.
So if we imagine hii tunataka kumuingiza ndani.
But
kwa sababu haezi do shit.
But
so let's go back to
he's 16, he shouldn't be fucking.
Exactly. Even the girl should be getting pregnant.
Yes, that's why tunasema Dizo. This
so mtu akiget pregnant ndio nasema hivi, mtu akiget pregnant, you pregnancy ibaki and then tuende tukafuate rule.
Skia, this is just a beginning. This is the beginning of hata discussion ya law ya abortion. Unaelewa? Because sai mwanaume anaweza sema it's 50-50. Me I'm not ready to
I'm
keep this child.
to take this.
Ndio nasema hiyo law ni ya current. Hiyo law see a future.
No, if you keep doing it, you think guys will just do it.
It stops us from
meeting.
It's
supposed to mitigate
to cut off for future, then tuanze na let's malikuwa tunaongelea story za nini za inaitwaje contraceptives. Tuanze na hizo. You get me? Ndio to avoid mahali wewe huwezi kuwa responsible, then can you be or tuseme
take these options.
Let's give people options. Tuseme sawa tufanye hivi juu umepata ball na wewe umepata ball na wewe umesema wewe unamaliza shule. Sawa, nyinyi pia mnamaliza shule. Then let's figure out venye tunaweza wagetia chances in jobs. Unajua ama kata support hata ni 1 year.
Unajua,
then now that's an option for future.
There's beauty in democracy, Dizo, but you cannot democratize somebody's shit. Unaelewa?
But bro, that law you're telling me, that law is just to kill people.
No, it's not to kill people.
It's not for perfect
it's
people.
To regulate.
Wait.
It's to regulate.
Wait,
regulate what, bro?
The law.
Start regulating the fact that kids are getting pregnant. Start regulating that. You are regulating a responsibility after pregnancy.
No, I'm not disagreeing. Listen, I want you to understand that I'm not disagreeing with the fact that we need to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Then let's go
But
there.
the fact of the matter is, hatuwezi neglect, this is already on the
Okay,
table. This is
for-
ile news ya leo.
Hold up. For the thing of saying that if it's the kids who are getting pregnant, the sex education should be introduced earlier.
It's
And
actually, yeah,
If the sex
Those are the
education
things
is-
that should be talked about.
but in many societies and communities, especially in Kenya, sex is taboo until you're old enough.
until you're pregnant and it's too late.
Nakwambia hii,
Yeah,
ndio
it comes-
nakuuliza hivi.
so the-
Ndio nakuuliza hivi. Nakuuliza hivi. Mko na doza kujenga ma prison? Because what you're telling me is to create space for prisons. Juu tutakuwa, hebu imagine we've been having deadbeats. since day one.
The fines are hefty, bro.
Yeah, so right now kama mko na doya kujenga prisons, msilete rules zenye na mja solve hii kitu nitty-gritty huku chini.
Since they can't fight it off on the sex education part, you're saying thinking long term, right?
Yeah.
You can't fight it off on the sex education part. Where you can get them when the kid is born because of this bill.
Why should the kid be
It is
born when you people are not ready?
You see, in
Good
our
point, good
society,
point.
most people will not want to abort. The ones who do.
Bro, face the fucking reality. In our society, they don't have that exposure to ongelea reality. You
No,
what you're
the
giving me
information is out there.
is a church method. Yani
No,
it's a
no.
church principle.
No, what I'm saying, there are people out there who have aborted when they see they can't take care of it, and the situation in the environment is not conducive for them to have it. Those ones, you'll find most of them aren't usually from the church.
Then why is
It will
it
be
why
spread
is
between
it the
a
society
50-50.
conducive enough? Mbona saizi agava isiweke ikuwe conducive, tukuwe na uto to clinics, tukuwe na uto to in all those areas. You see what Safaricom has done?
The first thing I think we need is separate the church and the state.
Diesel, I think
The
we should also appreciate the strength in deterrence, because by virtue of the fines that these guys are
Ni
putting
chapa
out
mob.
there,
That's
no,
under 2 million.
hizo machapa ni mingi.
2 socks.
So
how
we
many years
kama
in jail?
mwanaume uko hapo unajua the law says that if I
can no
fuck
longer
this nigga
neglect
and
kids.
get a child,
Yes.
these are the penalties for falling against the law. Unaelewa, for being a
Yes,
deadbeat,
But
the
we kama
government will
mwanamke,
fine me 2 million.
haya,
Unaelewa?
sasa tuseme hivi.
No, even women are enjoying.
Yeah, same.
Tuseme hivi sasa Mimi ni dem sitaki hazi. Una get? But na dem toi mwenye budake atakuwa.
Then you negotiate together.
We are not negotiating. I'll just get pregnant of your kid nikwambie tuko na mtoi.
And then me, I'll give you that.
Is that-
If the
is
child
that
needs
with-
if the child needs 10k, I'll bring 5k. After your 5k mwenyewe.
Exactly. Hiyo nilikuwa naweza get 10k. Point ni nataka ukuwe available without us being in a relationship.
No, now you're forcing this guy to pay.
But
And that's what the
pay
law is doing.
to pay for
As
your
in chenye
decisions.
inafanya ni so long as wamesema mtoi anafaa kuwa na wazazi wawili ama more. Go through hiyo kitu.
Responsibility.
Si ndio?
Yes.
Meaning dem na chali ama chali na dem wanaweza kuwa, but kunaweza kuwa na mwingine extra mwenye bado ni part of mtu.
Yes,
Si ndio?
in a way that you have a child with that guy, then you marry this
Then
guy.
you marry this guy.
So the
Sasa,
kid now has 3 parents.
or
The
sasa kuna hiyo ya 3
responsibility taken by
parents
this
or
guy.
ile ya 2. Mimi I just want to be a single mom.
Haya, sasa Diesel, wacha
Ngoja
nikuulize.
nimalize. I just want to be a single mom, which ni watu wengi wametaka hivyo. Watu wengi wamepata mtoi na mtu na wakamtoka wakamwambia no, you know what, I don't want anything from you. Na hata wajienda kumchomea. Ukweli uongo?
Hiyo ni kweli.
Kuna watu tu wametoka tu. But unapata mtoi, kuna time atakuja na maswali, si ndio? Hii law inakuja na watetee ni aje unaweza lock mtu whether aipende ama asipende.
Hapana, Diesel, sikia hivi.
That's where it's
Sikia,
heading.
sikia.
Yeah, kwa sababu
Outside deterrence, it's forcing people to be fathers.
you have to be.
It's
Hata
forcing
kama
you,
na
sikia,
mimi
sikia
mimi
Diesel.
ni dem na niko na mimba, I don't give a shit whether you like it or not. Point mimi niko ready kuzana
Sikia,
na
hiyo kwangu
But
ni
you have to be
deterrence. Hiyo kwangu ni deterrence in that first of all, we kuwa sure kama mwanaume unaendea huu yanks for what reason.
Yeah, but at
If
the
you're
same time,
fucking, if you're going to fuck, make sure you strap up because you're not going to get a child.
Okay.
And if you get a child, it means you have
you're
to take
already
care of that
automatically
child.
in,
We
at
are the
risk
same
of
ones.
going
Got
to
that Diesel.
jail.
We are the same people in this show who say men have to take responsibility for their shit. Unaelewa? Which means that with this law in play, it means hakuna option. Ukiget mtoi,
You are fucked.
Be part of that child's life. Unaelewa? Whether you like it
So
or
you-
not.
acha niseme hivi kwa
Take
nini
your
kuna
responsibility.
kuna option umeget mtoi mi siko ready.
Then you make sure you're ready.
No, as in, kuna saa
wait,
zingine hata
you're
naweza strap on na kila kitu. Tumesikia cases kuna watu wanakimbilia hadi ma CD kwa dustbin. Anajiwekea spamo.
Yes.
Unaniget?
Yes.
Point ni wewe as a lady you are ready. But me I'm not. It has to be free in a way. If as a lady you are ready to have that kid, then have that kid. But don't indulge that nigga. Now you as a nigga, if you are ready to have that kid,
Then look for someone who's ready.
Yes, look for
then
someone
look for
who's
someone who's also ready. So hiyo inamaanisha inaturudisha back to the ground, not to after ball imepatwa. Because after ball imepatwa hiyo chenye mnaniambia hakuna option.
ndo
And
nasema
yet there's
sahi,
always an option.
what we're talking about and what we're discussing, which this law puts to present, is the fact that hiyo kenye umetoka tu kusema kurudi back to the ground, it's taking us back there. Unaelewa? Juu inabidi mazee ushughulikie hii shit ndo isibidi
Bro,
ati
haitupeleki
gava
huko.
ianze
Nikwambie kwa nini
Wait.
unasema haitupeleki huko, unajua kwa nini haitupeleki huko?
kwa nini?
Laws zikipitishwa si ati unaweza zichange. Mimi naona mali inatupeleka hii, nimewaambia hivi. Kama mko na do ya kuunda more spaces kwa jela. Hiyo ndio tunafaa kuongelelea hizi law.
Why aren't we also speaking about how much more men need to be conscious, or how much more men and women need to be conscious about getting children? Because we are living in a hypersexual, as in tulikuwa tunaongea hapa juu ya hypersexuality jana. Unaelewa? We are living in a hypersexual society. So which means nyinyi kama nyinyi mmeamua mnataka kufaka kama magoats. Deal with the responsibilities. Don't usianze kuacha kukuwe na street children alafu kukuwe na
No,
an
vi
influx
wewe
of-
umeka ni kama mimi nasema hivi, nisikize. Tumeanza kudinyana, si ndio? Lakini najua hizi ma contraceptives zikifail naweza toa.
hiyo ni option.
Unaniget?
Hiyo ina option.
Tunasema
Inafaa kukua.
turudi kwa huko. Tusiseme sasa ikifika point yenyewe, hebu imagine nyinyi wote mmekubali.
Mbona
Ngoja. Nyinyi wote mmekubali ku have mtoi. Both of you have agreed. Why should there be an issue?
That's
ndo tunasema,
But-
mimi nasema hivi, why there shouldn't be an issue, that is why this
when you agree, then there's no problem.
Yes. when you agree, there's no
hii
problem.
rule ni ya, yule
Unaelewa?
mtu mmoja ku agree.
hii rule ni ya kuavoid kukuwe na watoi wenye watu hawezi shughulikia.
Bro, au getiji pregnant vi. Ni dem anaweza mwa get pregnant whether umwambie chenye umwambie.
Na-
Unaweza hadi mwambie haki mimi.
That is why nasema sikia Dizo, saa hii
think-
imefika point kama saa hii nyi wawili mnafaa ku take care of the child na unajua in that instance uli strap up, you can go to court useme ni aje mimi siku tuli we agreed na ikakuwa ni aje mimi I don't want to father a child, tukatumia CD. You can defend yourself in a court of law, but saa hii isikuwe ati
tuliagree.
we leave it to chance venye ilikuwa.
CD ilipasuka bana. Or mimi
Guys,
tuliagree.
guys.
Mimi tuliagree na huyu aliniambia ako safe.
CD kipasuka unacheza na rada.
Ndio nakwambia hivi, huyu
Take
tuliagree.
responsibility.
Tuliagree akaniambia ako safe, right? Si aliniambia ako safe? Mbona amezaa?
Wacha nikushow. Unajua ukisema ukiacha kwa hiyo story ya to leave it to chance ati alikuambia uko safe, hiyo haita
I'm not
hold.
leaving it to chance. I'm just saying, let's start bringing.
You're taking her
start
word for
encouraging.
it. You're taking her word for
I'm
it.
saying,
Guys.
then unaona hiyo word for it ndio inatupeleka kwa law. Let's start encouraging options before we reach to the law.
That's why I said let's leave
Let's
the
start encouraging options huko kwingine.
let's remove
I
the
don't
church from the
disagree
state.
Dizo with encouraging options, but kenye nasema ni tukianza kuongea juu ya encouraging options, we are also encouraging too much sex.
Yeah.
Unaona?
We can never legislate
We can-
sex.
bro,
you
sex
can't
has
We
been
can
there.
never legislate
Sex
sex.
has been
You can't
there.
stop people
Yeah,
fucking.
you can control sex.
Why should you?
Why
sasa
should
wewe
you? It's not-
why do you want to control?
It's not your job, bro.
Mazee,
Wacha ku-
sisemi sikia.
wacha kupimia
Wewe,
watu
si ati
raha.
napimia watu raha. Nasema we jipange, fanya raha yako, kuwa na raha
Hapana,
yako.
wanna control
Unaelewa?
sex. Wewe hiyo ni kucontrol sex.
Hiyo ni
Yes,
wewe,
this
take
law-
responsibility.
this-
Take
this-
responsibility.
You're becoming
The
the
law-
church
the-
now.
The law itself is about the upkeep
Of
the
children.
child.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
actually the
right?
crux of
So
it for me.
if I meet this woman and she has a child, then we get married,
Then the
I
child
am
is
now
yours now.
legally bound to take care
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
child.
yeah.
Yes.
50-50.
Where-
Because I knew that child was
You,
there.
you knew the child was there and you
I
jumped
knew
in.
why I got into that.
Yes. Now the situation, the scenarios you guys are throwing up, the one of you might not want the child, but the woman wants the child. Isn't that a form of entrapment, first of all?
No, it depends.
Unless
It's a
it is
form of
agreed,
entrapment.
unless
It's
it is
an
agreed
entrapment.
Okay, there are two points here.
beforehand, right?
If the Chile goes and has a child behind your back, that's entrapment. For me, actually, this law is about entrapment.
Yes.
And if the Chile, I don't know how to interpret this law. If the Chile says, I don't want you, nigga, who's the person to complain would be her. She's the one who would go and say, this nigga is not pitching in, yeah?
Yes.
But if she can take care of the kid and you are not contributing, I don't know how that is. That looks like a gray area for me.
That no, it says explicitly
Dem kama
that
sema
if you're
staki
not-
chapa yako, just
if you're
bring
not-
spam.
dem akisema yeye anataka mtoi na ametaka mtoi na ataki any union, that is fine. Atachukua.
Yes.
But law
Yes,
haitajua
if
hiyo.
you-
Law haitajua hiyo.
Law haitajua hiyo,
Law
bro.
haitajua
The neighbor
hiyo.
will come and say, this
Yeah.
guy doesn't.
guy is the father to this thing.
And he never
That
comes
is
here.
why, sikia, that is why nasema hivi. Hiyo ni neighbors wanaweza sema
No,
hivi.
they-
But
and it will
mimi
be a case.
nagonga point ya wewe kama mwanaume, before you get into any dealings na yanks, unafaa kukuwa sure with what you're doing.
Exactly.
Unaelewa?
That's one thing also.
So
you
that
don't
is why
you don't
nasema
start
I'm supporting
fucking a
this
chick you
because
know is going
it is
to blackmail you.
It is culturing a society. It is supposed to culture a society of men who think. Fikiria maze, who yanks anaweza kuwa hapa with ulterior motives.
Yeah, and you run away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unaona?
But if you insist on still fucking her and you know she's going to blackmail you,
Then the issue is you. Unaona? Shida ni wewe. So ni wewe, take responsibility kama mwanaume for your shit.
Sasa hiyo
that
kutake
is one way to
responsibility na
interpret it.
sitakataa.
That is one way to
Hapo kwa
interpret
kutake
it.
responsibility ni hivi. Toeni hiyo law. Bro, cause hiyo law haitajua whether you took the responsibility, whether you asked or not.
Because
Dem akishaeka mtoi na azae.
they've seen
Bro,
how the
unaweza kuwa na
instances,
dem na mulikuwa fiti. Mulikuwa fiti.
Hizo sasa ni tunaongea juu ya instances that may or may not occur. But
No, we are
tunasema
talking about
to draw a line tujue hivi ndo venye tunafaa cooperate. So wewe ukiruka uende hii side nyingine kuende segemnege, it now deal with whatever
But you
comes
see,
out.
Hiyo line si create hiyo kwa law. Mbona sasa sisi tunataka
This law
mbona
is
sisi tunataka kujicreate sisi law na kuna law. Unake twende tukwambie hiyo law, createini kwanza huku. Mwambie mtu by the time wewe kwanza uko pregnant, mtu wako lazima akuwe part of it. Tuanze na law huko.
Wacha nikuambie hivi Dizo.
So kama nyinyi wawili hamjakubali,
it's
kuna vitu mbili.
mtu mmoja akiamua kwenda go with it, then huyu mwingine asiyeikauntiwa.
but still ngoja, that's
the
exactly what I was going to say.
responsibility- okay,
This chick can handle. She just needs you for spam. Then she goes and loses her job in the next 5 years.
and once upkeep.
Yeah, and wants upkeep.
Get into that
If the
agreement.
law ilianza tukiwa wadogo, nisikize hiyo if the law ilianza tukiwa hii part ya now I've made you pregnant,
Yes.
yeah, me I want you to keep that kid, you're not ready, you get me, na ni insist, unajua wewe kama mtu mpaka nikugeti hao na kila kitu, but wewe uko ready, then once umezaa uende, law inafaa kukuprotect. Jumi nilisema siko ready. Now me, I was a surrogate to that nigga. To him, yeye alifikiria maybe nitazaa kitu change. Unajua, but nothing changed. Now, vice versa bado. Dem anazaambia Charlie, dem ako ready, mimi nataka kuzaa. Na Charlie hayuko.
Na Charlie ataki.
Na Charlie hataki. So mnangoja ati senye dem amezaa alafu lose job ndio mrudi huyu Charlie mwenye hakutaka from day one.
Ndio maana nasema hivi Dizo. Hiyo ni scenario yenye inaweza kuwa na haiwezi kuwa. That is why huku chini mnafaa as in inapeleka wasee to even writing agreements. Unaelewa?
Yes.
Unaelewa?
Yes.
Hiyo
Jot
This
down.
is
Sikia
slippery
ngoja,
slope.
sikia kwanza Dizo. Wewe umesema yako. Andika hizo nini? Andika hiyo agreement yenu. Nyi wote
Especially
msign.
for
Kukuwe na
surrogacy.
lawyer, kukuwe na witnesses. Unaelewa?
Juu ya
Cover your
kudinyana
fucking
just
ass.
for sex, bro.
Wewe sikia.
No, for the sperm.
For
not
your
the
child,
sperm.
for the child. Juu ya story ya
No.
mtoi.
No. hii mna sign saa ngapi? Juu mimi saa hizi naweza kuwa na
Obviously
chat na wewe nataka kudinya.
Obviously
Si ndio? So tuna chat hiyo time tuko like okay, hebu sign hapa kwanza. Just in case nikikudinya upate ball.
Ni situation yenye cheki wewe na huo msee mmekuwa pamoja for a while. Lakwe haiwezi kuwa ati all of a sudden ati mulichwiki South Africa kwa ati mimi nataka mtoi wako wewe.
Ama umepata ball.
Si, unajua huu dem already ndio ifike situation ya na kaa ujui huo dem take responsibility.
Take off. Better take off.
Ndio hiyo shit.
Juu unadinya mtu ujui.
Kaa ujui huo dem, sikia, kaa ujui huo dem, mimi nakubaliana na wewe story ya kukuwe na options. Unaelewa? Kukuwe na kalo ya abortion.
Basi ianze huko hiyo ndio chenye nasema.
Ianze na ianzagi hakuwezi kuwa na abortion, hakuwezi kuwa na mtoi bila sex. So tuanze na kuangalia sex ndio to avoid sasa stories
at the top level. This thing is just encouraging men to be responsible. Exactly. But for me, this bigger issue with this law, look at the people. Look at the people who drafted it. Okay, we know this.
Encouraging men to be responsible.
We know these cows we vote for. This thing you've seen lately, members of parliament are getting kids and they're being forced to take care of these kids.
Yes.
Hawataki kulipa hiyo upkeep. Juzi there's Bishop David Mureithi. What's that fucking church called?
Yes. Your church,
yeah, whatever the fuck it's called. But you know David Mureithi. Yes. He went and committed one of his congregates. Akamweka ball. Now the Chile wants chums. Sijui 200,000. And she wants internet. Sijui nini. Sijui school ni so. The guy said, fuck off. A 2-year-old child does not need internet, bro.
Real?
Yeah, these are the things I think they're trying to solve. This is a law for men to take care of themselves.
Let me ask you one thing. When you're talking about men, you're talking about men. When you're talking about privilege, you're talking about privilege. When you're talking about hoes, you're talking about hoes. As in, let's touch everything with her. This is an MP.
Let's put a specific name.
No,
Speaker. Watch a pastor. Pastor is a small guy. Speaker of Senate went and made some house girl pregnant, and now she wants 25 million.
Tuweke consequence. Tuweke consequence.
That case I thought was resolved out of court.
Jab. You're an important person right now. Maybe you're a spokesman wa Kenya. Nataka uniget. Will you be random?
But our people are
No, I'm asking
the
you.
people I'll be careful. First of all, just embarrassment sort of. Huwezi shikwa kwa malodging.
Hata mtu yeyote mwenyewe unampatia ni mtu hata kama ukimpatia ball unajua utamu.
And you sort it out quietly.
It was an official mwaliko, si ndio? Now, huyu chenye alifanya ni venye umesema nenda kadinyambo.
Yes.
Tafadhali.
And now
tusitumie watu wako privileged to make law.
And these are the reasons I'm thinking this law is made.
Let's not use the privileged people to make the law. Tutumie ground to make the law. Go to the ground.
Hizo mimi sikatai tu kwa point yenye unasema tutumie ground, but the fact is sex is going on very much in the ground as
it has been going on
terribly
now. It has been going on
now, even teenagers.
Ndio nasema hivi now
it's pregnancy is a result of sex. So we cannot start making laws about abortion before we start looking about the sex.
Okay, for me it's a
sex.
chicken and egg story.
So it's
which
a
one
chicken
comes
and egg
first?
story, which means one begets the other.
Do we legislate abortion or do we legislate?
This is what I'd say. Sex has been there. Sex is the oldest form of communication.
Of trade even.
Wacha tuseme tu communication. Oldest. Hata sikuongea. Sex. Unajua tu ile kula.
The bitch knows what exactly you're saying.
Anajua. Unajua sex is the oldest form of communication. Ukweli uongo.
True that. Straight up.
Now, let's not put any control on sex.
It came before language for
let's
sure.
Let's not put any control on sex.
Yeah, that one I'm up for
what
that
we should
one.
Put control on the repercussions of sex.
Consequences.
Now, we know sex is happening. We know. We all know.
Across society.
Across
pastors,
all ages.
Speakers of parliament, kila mtu.
And across all ages. We know it's happening. We know it's happening. So let's not put laws of consequence of sex rather than putting laws on consequences of the reality. consequences za sex ni mingi.
Consequences
And
za
they're
sex
also
skia.
very
Let me first of all,
But tuingie kwa reality. Unajua reality ni gani?
You
People
get a
are fucking.
child.
Their
Or-
children who are being fucked, raped even. Their children who are being raped by their relatives, boys or girls,
People being infected
being
intentionally.
infected. Kuna
Pregnancies.
kuna wale wenye wanarepiwa huko mamshadha, or kuna wale wenye wanadinywa mshadha, hata sikurepiwa pase, na wanapata mtoi, wanapata ball na hawana do ya kuabort or to even buy P2.
Hata pads ni shida.
Even pads ni shida.
But they
Kuna
lack
hao,
the
kweli
information.
They are there.
now.
Hiyo ndo reality. So tusitumie consequences za sex. Jua tujui context mali mtu ametoka.
Skia diesel.
Una get? Mimi nataka tutumie consequences za reality. Reality ni sex is happening across all ages, across all cultures, across all
Classes.
Sex is happening. Now,
And that is
since-
what we have refused to
since
accept.
sex is happening, then let's come to solutions of
Results of sex.
results of sex.
Pregnancy is a result of sex,
Now, pregnancy is a result of
which
sex.
is what this law
Sasa
is
ni
trying to
hivi,
address.
anza kuambia
Exactly.
watu or start offering convenient places nini hii compromise on prices intogaje ya
You know, because
subsidize on prices na kila kitu ndio watu wapate mapads, watu wapate mapitu, watu wapate unajua
Contraception
Nilisema-
generally. From a very early
kama,
age.
kama Safaricom ndio tuambie watu ikifika point walai ndio tumewapatia hizi vitu zote na bado muzae enda kaito huyo mwenyewe unajua
Sema,
Because
sema.
ndio mufike point mnazaa.
Tunakubalia.
We have denied, we have refused to accept that children are fucking in this country.
Yes, we need to
Tumekataa
accept
kabisa.
that, but we also need to do our due diligence to tell them, because earlier you alluded to there being the constitution na kuna nini ingine yenye nilikuwa nataka nikuonyeshe. Kuna social constitution na kuna the primal constitution. Primal constitution ni constitution ya gava national yenye kila mtu anakuwa guarded nayo. Social constitution ni rules zenye si operate
Norms.
nazo,
Za society.
norms za society. Unaelewa? So we as the society should also play our part, kwa sababu unajua tukijua kuna repercussions, the more we talk about the repercussions to something, the more it's a deterrent to engage in that practice. So when we're talking about controlling sex, we're not saying don't have sex. We are saying have sex, but
Ujue consequences.
ujue kuna consequences. Unajua, when you're well in the know of the consequences, then you will act accordingly. That's what we are saying. So yes, in as much as kutakuwa kuna venye hii law sawa imetoka ina regulate kenye ina regulate, what you are bringing on the table as an option, as in wapunguze hizo, wapatie subsidies hizo ma contraceptives, na pia mimi naweza sema pia waongeze hapo hivyo law ya abortion, pia inaweza saidia sana. Unajua,
Most
ita
importantly,
make sense.
remove the church from these discussions.
Remove the
Kabisa. Church ndio inakatisia. Church is what is telling people you shouldn't have sex, and people are denying that they're having sex, and children are getting pregnant. At the same church, after this kid has gotten pregnant, the same church refuses contraception before and after.
Okay.
Kuna-
What I
kuna-
should say
These
is
are
this.
slippery
And
slope
V,
people.
Nisikize. What we should remove is the church
That is number one.
and encourage the culture. Now,
Because-
every society with their culture, tuwapatie their time, let them be. Unaniget? But tutoe kwanza church hapo.
That is number one.
Tutoe tu church first.
Separate church
Kuna
and
vitu
state
mingi kwa
kabisa.
culture tunaweza change. But the first thing is removing the church from the culture.
From state even.
You know, their cultures
Equip
and tribes which
personal-
have midwives. And the midwives, at times, the mothers will send their daughters there when they see the girl is pregnant. You know, I find a way to get rid of that child. Now, you see, if
but
even
it would
in the in
it
the
would hardly
culture,
that was an exception. Girls were
Ex-
not getting pregnant at that time.
but it
But wange get pregnant hiyo time unakubali uzae juu because kitambo it was like mtoi ni wa community. What he is saying ni wale wazazi wenyewe hawataki,
yes,
they will send their kid
Secretly.
secretly.
yes,
Cindy, that's what you're saying.
exactly. So that back then, that was the way they dealt with it. If they knew the boy is not going to take you and you can't care for him and you're in no state to even have the child, that's what they would do. Others would let the daughter bring up the child and die at childbirth.
Okay.
So during time, all these things have changed. But I hear you when you say it's not something you want to lump on the man who doesn't want to take the responsibility at the time, or he feels he wasn't even part of the decision making.
Okay,
Right?
Bizo, you've spoken about the cultural implications and separating the church from our cultural system of values. But here, naona kwa hii law inasema something very controversial. Inasema
The law only deals with the intricacies of.
Me, I think this law is selfish, made by people who don't want to pay child
Wacha
support.
tusikie chenye anasema. He's saying it's contradicting. Hapo ndo Malijava anaweza come in by the contradicting za mapenda sana. Tell me how contradicting it is.
Mr. Contradictions.
ilikuwa inasema something about kuforce mtoi nimeipata. Those who force children to be circumcised or subjected to harmful cultural practices or rites will be liable to 3 years in jail or a fine of 200,000 or both.
What does that mean?
Let me ask you one thing.
That's just.
Let me ask you one thing.
Hebu soma tena by the before this says. Those who?
Who force their children
Parents
to
or guardians would also be barred from subjecting children to forced circumcision or male child and female genital mutilation for the case of girls. Those who force children to be circumcised or subjected to harmful cultural practices or rites would be liable to 3 years in jail or 200,000 shilling fine. Or
So in
both.
short, you're not supposed to force a child into anything.
Basically,
That's what we're saying, V, right?
Yes.
basically
So a child is not supposed to have a parent.
they have thrown
If
out.
hataki kukula, don't fucking force that kid to eat.
Pretty much that's what they're saying.
Yeah?
Mimi kenye na
Like nisaidie on that one.
cultural
Ina-
practices.
Harmful cultural practices.
Bro, you will never know about harmful cultural practices unless you're from that culture.
Unless you're part of that culture.
Unajua? Ukikuja from outside, then you'll come with all options of harmful zenye umeziona hapo.
We
So
are,
Bizo, can I
we are
put you on the
basically
spot?
turning
Perception,
into America.
perception.
Can I put you on the spot?
Mm.
So do you agree to FGM? Is it something that you would like
Bro,
your child
I'm
to have or go
I'm
through?
I'm from the Luo culture.
You're from
first
the
of all.
Luo, but let's speak.
No.
No, it's very
I cannot speak
subjective,
of
objective.
FGM kwa sababu
hatuna hizi vitu.
mimi siku grow up huko.
I don't
But
even-
I'm not going to argue with someone mwenye ame grow up huko na ananieleza venye
It's how useful it is.
how
to them.
useful it
But
is.
still, this law, I started this segment saying our MPs are working overtime. This is a very fucking stupid law, okay? Number one, don't force your children to harmful cultural practices. That means all the people circumcised at 13, all the people circumcised with the knives at the river,
And
out
even-
of the question.
And even our cultures.
that was a culture.
Even our cultures
That's
themselves
erosion
are being
of
eroded
culture,
by
bro.
a simple law. Our culture
Hiyo ndio
ya
kitu
kucircumcise.
unaitikia. Hii kucircumcisiwa kwa
Sasa-
rive ikie kwa saizi kwa hii culture is harmful.
It's harmful like
Right?
shit, man. You can't
It's
be,
harmful.
you can't cut your
You
dick.
can't do that to a kid, but yet hiyo law yenu inataka kuja kuweka ati
That's a cultural practices zimeisha.
then hawa watoi waachiliwe.
So children,
Mtoi akizaliwa kutoka kwa hosi,
people-
wazazi wasikuwe part of it.
people can only be circumcised after 18 now.
No,
No, if they want.
this is
When you're 18, you're a
changing.
grown up.
And yeah, now
you
usiambie wazazi wako wakulipie. Unaget?
Yeah, you're already a grown up.
You're a grown up. Go fucking sort yourself out.
You see, now with something like circumcision, it can really buy you from your community also. You know, these are things.
I'm telling you, our
preserve-
Man, that's what I'm saying.
This is-
These are
Yani,
things which
Welcome
preserve
to the-
cultures, you guys.
this law.
Welcome
this
to the
law is
Parliament of
standardizing
Kenya.
Cultures. This law is
You're making
standardizing
everyone
culture.
equal.
You're making everyone equal. Yet we are not. This is 844.
We-
This is the church. The church is making. If you're not about the church, then you are a witch or you are whatever. We'll kill you
Burn you with fire.
or we ban you. Unaona? So imaanishi literal ati tutakuua ama tukumban just by discriminating you.
No, some do it physically too.
No,
They-
I'm saying yani, even by discriminating you tushakuua out of our society. Chasing you out of our society. Tukiangalia ma documentary mingi za FGM. Paka saizi tuko na ma charity places za watu mademu wenye wamehepa from FGM, right?
Yes, and you also have communities which have changed their method of what
which
is
they have
this.
changed, yeah. So ndo nasema hivi,
Na kuna wale bado wako chini ya maji.
hao chenye wamewekwa ni discrimination. Wengi wao ukiwasikiza kwa hizo manini itakuwa ni ile, oh, I could no longer be with my people.
Yes.
Which is allowed, you get. Musema, let not a foreign idea change a culture. Let you be different in your own culture. You be different in your own culture.
That's
So
why
what
some women
defines
have
you?
different initiation trips. They
But
don't go
sikuwa
for the,
wamechenjiwa na mtu.
But you see, number one, I'm not a woman. Number two, I've never had a female circumcision. I don't know what they achieve with that shit. It's a very foreign idea for me.
Bro, you also
But
you are also
I'm also a Luo. This we've never
all
seen
you
cat
need
dicks.
tuambiwe ukicircumcise them ni hivi na hivi ndio na
And what are you looking for when you're circumcising? They know why they're doing it. So I can't relate to that
So
shit.
me saizi me I can't relate with it. I'll go to the emotional side.
I'll-
I won't
yeah,
be logical anymore.
mnaumiza
I'll be
madem,
emotional
nini.
because, ai, sasa hiyo sasa mnakata aje dem, una get?
And I don't know what I've never experienced it.
Just
I don't
because
know.
I don't experience it.
I don't know what it means, so I can't even contribute to that.
So no
Topic.
law should standardize like we are one culture. This Kenya is not one culture.
We are
Yes.
42 cultures.
We are like 42 or more.
43 Indians came in.
You know, we are like, let's say 40 and above cultures, right?
Mhm.
You are 40 and above cultures. Now, put a law from the roots. And a law from the roots is sex is going on throughout the gender class.
divide.
Everyone is
Everyone
fucking.
is
So
fucking
what
like
do you
crazy.
control?
Especially
Do you-
after
do you
COVID.
if you can't control the fact that sex is happening, do you control the ramifications?
The-
Do you try and at
Yes,
least
that's
control the
that's where we should
Now
start.
you don't control the consequences. You offer options. Now the option you choose is upon you.
Now
You
what,
get me?
yes.
The
Now,
option you choose.
what if in the past most people have chosen not to exercise any form of responsibility? So now the law comes in for those
Start
people.
taking care of your fucking kids.
But now you see,
In
let's
the
be
past,
let's
sasa
be
unaona
first
in
of
the
all.
past, nimetoka kuambia tuko na 42 tribes man, ama cultures.
Mhm.
Tuko na 42.
And,
Meaning the main issue ni sex. Juko hizi
that's the
42,
common denominator with
the
42
common
tribes.
denominator. But every culture has a different way of approaching your sex. So let's offer options.
Dizo, first of all, I think issue ni the repercussions of sex na cultures hazijaweza kuji-adjust to how to manage hizo
That's where kill or keep comes
it
in.
or kill it inakujia.
Na hiyo nilianza hata nikisema hivyo. Nilisema mara naona nilianza na church kwanza itolewe. Bro, church itolewe.
Church has nothing to contribute to this
has
argument.
nothing to do with this.
Okay, but there's this
Now,
Church yenyewe is saying don't have sex, and they are closing their eyes, their head is in the sand. Kids are getting pregnant every fucking day.
The church is fucking kids.
Now check. These guys can't enter this conversation.
Aya, sawa. As we wrap up, also proposed is that children aged 13 and 16 years may be engaged in jobs under terms and conditions set in regulations drawn
That
by
is
the
now
Labour
another
Cabinet.
Aya.
shocking thing I've
Without
learned.
Wacha sasa
child
nikuulize.
labor.
Child labor
Ah,
is banned in
let's
this
not be
country.
sensitive. Let's not be sensitive.
No, we
At one point, you're saying, bro, don't you see this bill is giving power to kids?
That is the point. That's the whole fucking
That's
Again,
point.
exactly.
It's giving power to kids in every way. So who's
That's
the
why I said.
parent?
That's why I
Who's it?
said
Is it the government?
we are becoming
Sasa hizi
America.
tunaambiwa ukizaa patia mtoto wako kwa gava.
Na usithubutu kuchapa huyu mtoi.
Doesn't the government?
If the child,
the law.
if the child doesn't want to
keep it is
listen, it's so.
society, cultural upbringing. That's all we need.
If the child refuses to eat, don't touch him. And the same law says
not
the
cultural
same
practice.
law is saying ukinyima mtoi food, you are in shit. But this kid has jumped to eat.
but
You can't beat this kid. He has jumped to eat, but government says ukimnyima food, you are in shit.
The
First,
same law
Those are not
inasema,
cultural practices.
usipopeleka mtoto shule unafungwa.
Unafungwa.
Hii bado iko hapo, si
that's
ndio?
why nasema
Yes,
hivi,
yeah.
but that's why nasema hivi.
This
First
law
of
is
all,
stupid as shit.
kill. This law is
This law is dead in the water.
our social constitution.
It is
How-
contradicting our social constitution.
Exactly, it's very much contradicting our social constitution, which means that wanna try to impose certain things on us.
Mm.
Naelewa?
Mhm.
So
Just because
as
a
it
few
is-
MPs can't keep their dicks
as it is,
in their pants.
having gotten the details to the law that he's proposing, what would you keep and what would you kill as we head into the break? Marvin, starting with you.
I would keep the essence of the law as far as parental responsibility goes in. I would kill the expectancy to force it upon someone to take care of something which from the onset
Their own dad
they
doesn't want to
didn't.
take care. Now me, I come and take care. It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
That's mine.
That's your take. Diesel.
I'll keep. First of all, I'll kill standardization of everything, because that's what killed us. From the church, from the education system, na kila kitu. Like assuming everyone is the same. We are not. I'll kill that. And I'll keep communal upbringing. Bana mtoi anaweza zaliwa, hiyo vita yenu ni vita yenu, lakini mtoi ni wetu.
Mtoi ni wa community.
Mtoi ni wa community. Unajua whether uko ama uko, mtoi ni wetu. That's what I'd keep. So kama tunaweza rudi hiyo ni sawa. So each community has their own. So kama mtu ame exiliwa from another community, it doesn't mean there's no any other community that can take that person.
Or there's no responsibility to the child, as in hakuna msee mwenye atanacha.
No, once you're exiled, you're exiled, right? Because maybe your mom got you out of wedlock. You
You're
know.
banished.
But because you're in the community now, when mtoi wa community, kuna system yenye unaweza follow.
See hiyo community per se, tuko community above 40, right? Kuna ile community yenye inaweza chukua outcasts.
Yes.
Unaget? Jua ukiangalia kwa history zetu, most of the ruthless leaders were outcasts when you walichukuliwa in a certain community. Unaget? So hiyo iko. Let's just stop standardizing and encourage that communal. So tukapata community nyingine pengine unaambiwa wewe ukipata mimba sahi, ukipata mimba below hii age, we can't have you, we'll chase you to your grandmother. That's allowed. That should be allowed. Maybe huko kunaweza pata na community nyingine yenye it takes women with kids. Unaona? Let's not standardize shit. Bro.
Let's acknowledge our social diversity.
Diversity, thank you. Yeah.
Safi. Javin.
Me, what I would keep is this 50-50 upbringing. Chicks will start looking sharp in this country. Ati ule msee ako na kenge, then you go and pick a condom from the dustbin and put it in your pudesh just to eat this nigga's money. That
Yeah,
I'll keep.
that
The
advert
rest I
is-
trashed. It's a rubbish law. Complete pants, man. Our
Aye.
MPs are
Guys,
working
I don't think
overtime
this thing
doing
is
this
like tailored
wrong
to long
shit.
term.
Alright, niggas, that has been the first segment of the 420 show. When we come back, we'll start by telling you how you can enjoy your weekend starting by Thursday. Tukiwa pale Zipang.
True that.
Woo woo!